All right, y'all. So tonight I'm going to be making a video of some homemade loaded nachos with ground beef. These are the ingredients I usually use. So I use the regular Tostitos original style chips, some sour cream, some evaporated milk, doesn't matter what brand, hot sauce, some Velveeta cheese. I use adobo for seasoning. I also use 1 or 2 sazon con achote. I'm not going to use this whole thing, but some taco seasoning, some mild chunky salsa, some sofrito. I also have a saucepan. I have my other frying pan. I have here about half a pound of ground beef, which is already pre-cooking for me. I'm gonna make sure I cook it really, really good. And if you get the, I think this is 80-20, well, whichever I got. You don't have to use ground beef. You can use turkey, you can use chicken. I am going to make mine with ground beef. And I'm going to hand this over to my little assistant, Sylvia. She's going to be helping me. Here you go. This is Sylvia, y'all. Say hello.
Hi.
All right. What you laughing for? Don't mind the laughing in the background. My daughter's busy doing homework assignment she should have done Friday. So make sure when y'all cook this ground beef, y'all cook it well done and shred it to the smallest pieces possible. You don't want big chunks. You want little small chunks. I usually grab a wooden spoon, whatever this is, and I smash it down. I had already pre-drained mine, so there's not a lot of liquid, well, fat in my ground beef. I have strained it already. I'm gonna put this a little higher. Now, while this is cooking, I'm gonna put it on low again. I'm gonna season it. I don't measure anything, but I put some adobo, some sofrito, not adobo, sofrito. I usually make my own, but I haven't had time, so I had to go buy some. All right, I'm gonna take some adobo. But first, I'm gonna mix the sofrito into the meat. Okay. Make sure you get that sofrito all over your meat. The adobo, I usually don't mix, but what I do is 1, 2, and it's done. Don't overdo the seasoning. Okay? Don't worry about the mess. You can clean it up later or as you go. All right? Then I'm going to take a pack of sazon con achote. I might not use the whole thing, or maybe I will. Nope, I used half. Used half of it. Depends on the quantity of ground beef that you make. I'm not going to over season it. All right. I'm going to take a little bit of the taco mix, just a little bit. Okay. Make sure. Ooh. That's it. Save the rest for later because you can always use it for something else. All right. Like I said, you don't want to overdo it. So while the ground beef is soaking up all these seasonings and all this flavor, and if you want, you can add green peppers, you can add onions, you can grab veggies and saute it into the ground beef. We're not doing all that because it's 10:50 something at night and I'm trying to get this done. So, for your cheese sauce, really quick, I bought, this was the only thing I could find, so I bought, what's this? The Baker's Corner evaporated milk. Gonna put this in here. Medium heat. Okay. Now, while that cooks, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the cheese. I don't know why I always grab this knife or whatever. And you're gonna cut your cheese into cubes, depending on how much cheese you need. We're only going to do a little bit, so I'm probably gonna need this much cheese. If you don't use all the sauce, you can always put it in a bowl, heat it up later, just add a little bit of milk. Make sure you cover this real good and you put it away. And I'm not gonna fight with this box. All right. So we're gonna cut the cheese. You want it to melt. So you might have to add a little bit more. I use the whole container of milk, so I might need more cheese. But let's see. So to this evaporated milk, I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper. Okay. Hot sauce. You can tell we use a lot of hot sauce in the house. Just a little bit. You don't want it too spicy. Okay. Bring this to high heat. I'm gonna use a whisk. You're gonna need a whisk. We're gonna whisk this. The cheese is salty, but I'm gonna add like 2 to 3 pinches of salt. 2 will do. Let me get back here real quick. All right. Gonna whisk. Excuse me. The pepper gets me every time. Thank you. All right. Make sure that you don't bring the milk to boil. Okay? What you're gonna do is add the pieces of cheese, and you want them to melt. As the milk is boiling, don't be afraid to just throw them in there. And don't be scared to whisk it. Just be careful you don't overcook it. All right. Sorry, I just gotta constantly wash my hands. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna whisk this. Whisk, whisk, whisk. You can bring the heat a little higher. Just make sure you gradually bring it down so you don't overcook the cheese sauce, or that you don't burn the cheese. I'm gonna put mine between 2 and 4, which is 3. Okay. I got a deep bowl because I have a lot of kids in my house that I gotta feed and they be hungry. So this deep bowl. Okay. gonna take some tortilla chips. This goes quick in my house, just so y'all know. Alright, don't forget to whisk, whisk, whisk. I'm trying to multitask. But as you guys see, I have tortilla chips there. I'm going to check on my ground beef because I don't want it to burn. Make sure you leave it on low heat, okay? And if you feel as though you have a lot of grease left, you can strain it again. I'm okay. It's just this. This is just the juices from the seasonings. Now, what I like to do, and this is optional, a lot of people rather have the salsa cold. We like a little, right? A little warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add I like using this, well, this brand, Chi-Chi's Mouth Thick and Chunky. Okay. I'm going to add this to the meat. Probably about half, not even. Save this for later, because you can always use the rest for something else, for tacos or something. Which we will be having tomorrow, chicken tacos. All right. So we're gonna mix all that in there. Let that cook a little bit more. Make sure you cover it. And back to the cheese sauce. We're gonna continue to stir, stir, stir. So as you guys can see, the cheese is melting. But because I added the whole can of milk, I'm gonna need more cheese. So I'm gonna cut more cheese. You can never go wrong with cheese. I'm gonna add some more. I can always use the cheese for tomorrow for tacos. Okay, we're gonna leave that for later. I don't have the time. Again, cut them into smaller pieces. That way they melt a little better. Okay, but you gotta be quick because you want to overcook the one that's previously cooking. Okay, put them in there quickly. Alright. And we're going to continue to whisk. And if you don't feel as though that your cheese sauce is not spicy enough, you can add a little bit more hot sauce to it. And another thing that you can do is add some sharp cheddar shredded cheese, which I'm going to add a little bit because we like a little mild cheese in it. And this is leftover cheese I always have. Gonna add like a handful of the sharp cheddar. Is it sharp cheddar? Mild cheddar. Mild cheddar. Shredded cheese. Okay. Continue to whisk. I just add a little bit more of the shredded cheese just so it can give it a little more thicker. A little thickness to the cheese sauce. And as you guys can see, it's getting thicker. Remember, you gotta continue to whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk. And so your hand doesn't get tired. This is usually what I do, like this. But I'm used to doing it like this, so. Make sure the cheese is nice and melted. Okay. Let it thicken up just a little bit more. Make sure you don't overcook it because it will burn. Gonna check the ground beef, which is completely done. And as you guys can see, it doesn't have that much oil, but that's fine. I'm fine with a little fat in it. But if you want to strain it, you can strain it. Before I add the meat to the tortilla chips, I'm going to add a little cheese to the bottom. Check this. And if it's still a little runny, go ahead and add a little bit more cheese. I don't measure anything, but I usually use half of the container or half of the can of milk, evaporated milk. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more cheese, another handful of it. Only because we like our cheese really thick. But not that thick, but thick enough. Not runny and watery. Let me put this way. Okay. Make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, okay? Make sure you whisk. See, now it's thick. As you guys can see, it's really, really thick. And if you need to bring down the heat, bring it down. Again, I have it between 2 and 4, which is 3. And I'm gonna use this real quick. Second. Sorry, but I have to clean this because it's making me mental. All right. I have it on low, so I know my cheese is not gonna burn. So this is about how you want your cheese sauce. You don't want it too thick, but you don't want it watery. This is fine for us here. But if you want it thicker, again, you can add more cheese. Don't overdo the cheese though, because then it'll get really, really, really thick, and then it'll just stick to the bottom of your saucepan. All right. So my sauce is done. So what I'm gonna do here is use this. I'm gonna bring my chips over. Down. Okay. I'm gonna turn it off. What you wanna do is, don't be scared. Get that cheese in there. Remember, you have chips in the bottom. Okay? And if you have to move some in order to get the cheese under, you go right ahead and do that. Make sure you get that cheese all over them. When I go places, I hate when they underdo the cheese and then you get all them leftover nachos. Okay? So this is the leftover one that you can continue to use another day. Remember, I said you probably need some